I refuse to do any labor in my life, generally speaking, especially when it comes to men. And the fact that I know exactly what I want and what I don't want is very unnerving, usually, to men and women. Older women in my life, my own mother, was very uncomfortable when I used to say to her, I am not going to be cooking, cleaning, or serving a man. I don't desire to do it. I don't want to do it. I will not do it. I am not doing it.
I'm sure she was, right? I'm sure she was extremely disappointed with the end result of who you became as it pertains to relationships and how you view them.
Okay. And often, actually, it's not just men who shirk at that because they think it's an audacity. They like to accuse me of lacking in femininity,
Oh,
having a chip on my
we
shoulder.
didn't see that
I don't
coming.
really care what they think because, as far as I'm concerned, why would I, as an adult human being, serve another adult human being just because I'm a woman? Because you have to realize that a lot of these kind of chores and tasks that are assigned to women is purely because you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking, cleaning, serving, having sex with them, allowing them to have access to your body. Because let's not even get into the fact that there is a prevailing status quo around women losing bodily autonomy in relationships and marriages. I find that to be disgusting. The fact that men feel entitled to access your body right after childbirth, after serious surgery, like hysterectomies, during the menopause, that some women can't even shower in peace by themselves without a partner standing at the door or being in the shower with them.
I mean, let's really be real here. What are we? Let's see here. We are
I know what
about a minute and a half into this video. You guys have assessed. You've gotten a good taste of who she is in her energy, at least. Vibes, vibes, vibes. That's what the chicks say. Is there really a man who's listening to this and going, "Boy, we're missing out"? Because you see these masculine chicks get online and talk about, I'm not gonna do it. And my question is there a guy who's like, boy, we're missing out on this? Because she's saying it like you're missing out on a good time here when just from what I see, it would be pure hell for any man who values their peace to be trapped in four walls with a chick who views cooking, cleaning as some sort of punishment. Listen, her handle here is literally called Unpunishable Woman. Unhinged, bro.
I want and what I don't want. I am unafraid, unapologetic about being clear. I'll never forget when a man who was interested in me called me up one day and asked me to meal prep for him.
Oh, okay.
It was 2 p.m. in the afternoon and I was at work. He wanted me to meal prep. And I'm not talking a bit of grilled chicken and some vegetables. He wanted a full-on meal of jollof rice, etc. Now, let me tell you something. A blender and a plum tomato will never see my kitchen. That is not my role. I was not designed and created to cook and serve a human being that happens to be male. That is not my purpose. That is not my divine purpose or calling. I'm very clear on that. When you have that kind of clarity, it does unnerve and make people feel very uncomfortable. And that includes men and women, men who say they're interested in you. And what that always reveals to me is that man wants to contain me. Because why you need me when you're an adult and you're a leader, but you need me to cook and clean for you?
Because what else are you going to do? Again, no, I do not mean that in the sense of there's nothing else a woman can do other than cook or clean. But I'm curious, what else are you doing with your life? Because when you hear a lot of these feminist chicks talk about how you're trying to contain them and restrict them, you're like, okay, let's peer into your life. What are you doing that you don't have a husband? Boom, chaos, kids outside of wedlock, just problems, debt. Sure, you're not cooking for a man, but you're letting a man sleep with you, maybe one or two or three, a plethora of men over a longer period of time. You end up finding out that for the majority of women with this mindset, you would think that their lives would be a reflection of them not being contained, and they'll be very productive, producing anything that's helping the community at large that they're in. But no, it's actually worse. They're raising the problems. I mean, guys, take a look at this chick's bio, right? Global movement for single women who refuse silence, shame, and submission. Real quick, shout out to the sponsor of this channel, fathershaverights.com. Here is the truth. A prenup is not about lacking love or trust. It's about being brave enough to have honest conversations. It's about being bold enough to protect your family's future. Engaged or soon to be married men. The divorce industry profits when you enter marriage blindly. Real love is sitting down and writing your own rules instead of leaving it up to strangers, the state, the government. Soon to be married men, it's not too late to secure your future marriage. Click the link pinned to the top of the comment section and join the hundreds of men securing their future marriages the right way.
No. And as I say, older women around me have always felt uncomfortable with my very clear expression of what I do and don't want. I do not do labor, and I'm most certainly not going to be laboring in exchange for respect, in exchange for loyalty. And the reason why this works for me is because I don't want to get married. It's never been a priority. And so marriage and children are never carrots that a man can dangle in front of me. I've had plenty of men who've been interested in me.
Let's come back to reality.
Who've wanted to date me, and they're surprised that at my age, I'm not focused on marriage and children. Their power cards have been withdrawn, because that means that there's no reason why I'm going to stay in a dynamic, an interaction, or a relationship that is not serving me, that is not healthy, that is not respectful, that is not honoring. Because I don't have a clock or a timeline I'm playing to here. I know my worth. For me, I value my self-respect and dignity above all other things and all other people. When you can be really clear unapologetically about what you do and don't want, understand that people will disqualify themselves, but also at times it may feel like you have few options. Now, in my case, I don't really care. But for a lot of you,
she says at times it may feel like you have a few options or no options.
Who do want to go into partnerships, do not forsake what you really want. Because trust and believe, when you're in that relationship, sometimes there's no going back. And if you don't want to be doing labor, you need to be clear about that. You need to be clear about that, because it is labor. Speak less of the emotional labor. This whole talk, speak life into people. It's ridiculous. You need to think about the day to day. Are you going to be happy and content to get up and do that labor at any time or hour as well? Because there's some of the stuff I see, women getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make a man a sandwich. Ridiculous.
Yeah, we're in a real selfish generation. When you have a significant other, husband, wife, children, everybody is in service for one another. Right? Everybody's in service for one another. Today, I woke up around 3 a.m. to make sure that things are set up and prepared for my son. Right? My wife was doing some stuff for the whole family. And when my son's old enough, he'll understand he'll have to contribute in some shape or form. This selfish, self-centered mindset and idea of, listen, you can choose that you don't value marriage. That's fine. You can choose that you don't want kids. That's fine. But in a world where it's like, I'm not going to bring anything in exchange for this, and that. That's how it works. That's how society works.
I ain't gonna lie. When the girls start talking about the things they won't do for a man, as far as I'm concerned, when I get my future man of God, I'm ready to cook, clean, and shut up. And it's when I get to that shut up part that they're like, why would you say that? I'm like, shh. Give me a second shot, let me explain. Back in the day, a man used to ask a woman if she was spoken for. Like, you got a man, belong to somebody type of vibe. Well, I like to take that literally. When I say I'm ready to shut up, it's because I'm ready to be spoken for. And a lot of the women who be going to war about this, not only are they not spoken for, but their man that they're seeking is speaking for everyone but them. And that's not their fault. And also, do not shoot the messenger. I'm all for being an independent woman, but baby, I'm tired. I'm ready to be spoken for because frankly, I talk too much. Case in point. Hey, did you order the large curry chicken with rice and peas, cabbage, a side of mac, extra gravy, large fruit punch, no ice? Yeah, it'll be $32.98. How are you paying? Cash or card? Card. Or, yeah, ma'am, it looks like you need a new catalytic converter, brake pads, windshield wipers, and a new car. You want to get that taken care of today? Do y'all take Afterpay? Or my least favorite. Yeah, shawty, you know, you feel me? You look good. You know, you smoke, you trying to kick it, you trying to kick it. I I have a gun. Ready to shut up. Ask my man of God what size tire I need. Because if you ask me, I'm going to tell you I need a medium 5W20R. And that's not right. And maybe it's just me, because I can stand alone, baby. I ain't never had a problem. However, if you are also a woman of God who is ready to shut the faith up and let her man of God be the man of God that the God has called him to be, let the church say, amen.
Top commenter says marriage is slavery. There, I said it. Here's another person that says women are waking up and men are getting uncomfortable. Here's somebody else that says, after all, having a man around is nothing more than childcare. Here's somebody else who says, older women around us are too broken. So the modern chicks in this society, and there are plenty of them, believe that men are the children, the men who have built the world that they live in, the men who protect them from danger, from other men who aren't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. The men are the children. Incredible.
Guys, women are not cooking anymore. Women are not cooking anymore. My grandma does not cook. My mom does not cook. I don't cook. I don't know what's going on, but the generations are just like, we don't want to cook anymore. Every time a man asks me if I can cook, I'm going to just start saying no, because I don't know why I'm lying. I can't. I don't even cook for myself. The women aren't cooking. I don't know if this is a new epidemic. I don't know if it's just me and my family, but the women aren't cooking, babe. The men are cooking, okay?
Here's the thing about stranger men on the internet calling me ugly, because I'm speaking up and out about the experiences of women all over the world.
She uploaded a follow-up video that says, I'm ugly and I still respect myself as an adult single woman. I mean, everybody has their take and opinion. I wouldn't call her ugly. I do think it's interesting that when people go online, they usually won't present themselves physically to the best of their abilities. I see this all the time, many times, right? Then when people make fun of something about them, especially the chicks, they get back on and they'll take a shower and their hair is a bit more put together and a bit more makeup. I personally would not call this woman ugly. I wouldn't. Now, is her perspective on relationships and men ugly? Yes, I'll agree that is, right? Do I think other people would disagree with me? I'm sure. People have their own opinions. Just keep watching.
Right for women to choose to be single if they so wish to be. The thing about it is that it further just confirms my thoughts about men who lack intelligence. Some of this is just willful ignorance, because if you actually listen to any of my videos, any of them, okay, you will find that I am relying on actual qualitative data and quantitative data research and evidence. And unfortunately for the system of men, patriarchy, the evidence is screaming. In every language, the evidence is clear. The evidence is clear about the oppression that women are experiencing. And the thing that we really need to get clear on here is that these types of men, all they have are these lazy, predictable kickbacks, which is that you're ugly. But here's how I see it also. I think there's an advantage to that. Now, I'm not saying that I am ugly. I'm not being self-deprecating. What I am...
Your caption literally says, I'm ugly. I mean, it's okay to think that you're ugly. I'm just saying, it literally says that right here.
Saying is I'm well aware that I do not meet mainstream beauty standards. I'm well aware, especially if you are a woman of color, a black woman even, that I don't meet those standards either. And I'm okay with that. And it actually gives me a bit of an advantage, because what is there for me to lose? If I stay silent, they'll still call me ugly. If I speak up and out, they'll still call me ugly. I'm okay either way. The conviction, the clarity I have around women having the right to choose whether or not they partner, I am not going to fall back. I am not going to stop talking about this. And I am not going to stop observing and commenting on trends, patterns, evidence, and data that clearly shows that women are not thriving. And when I say women, I'm talking holistically. Across the board, women are not thriving.
Yeah. The women who prioritize their careers, the women who are in your shoes and mindset and do not embrace family and having children, those tend to be the happiest women. Those women are doing actually fairly well. That's what the data shows.
in these types of partnerships. Period. The other thing I really need to express here, because it drives me insane how narrow-minded people can be. I am a Black British woman. I speak English. I have been educated. I'm able-bodied. I have a lot of privilege. I'm sitting in New York. Okay, I moved from the UK to New York by myself because I could, because I had the resources.
And yet here you are still complaining.
I have privilege. Right now in 2025, right now as we speak, there are women in parts of the world who don't have those privileges. Whilst it's all fun and games, we can talk about dating, because a lot of the men in my comments want to talk about the fact that they spend more money in dating. That is immaterial. Genuinely, it's trivial. Because there are women in parts of the world in 2025 for whom marriage is a survival strategy. It is a survival necessity. That marriage is harmful to them, period. If you only Google child marriages right now happening around the world, right now, even in the...
Why would you think that men who disagree with your perspective about men and about marriage are okay with child marriages? What's going on?
US, in fact, there are states where this is still allowed. So I don't care if you think I'm ugly. I don't care if you think there is not a demand for my services amongst men, because I do not live my life. And this is what I know irritates these men, because I've had male friends just like you. It gets on your nerves. It gets on your nerves that I am not living in a constant rehearsal or audition for your approval, for your validation, for your acceptance. I don't care about whether or not you're attracted to me or not. Don't care. Because what you're used to is women cowering, shrinking, falling back, feeling as though they can't have a voice.
Not really. We're used to this. I think men are used to this by now.
You're used to women wanting to be accepted by any man so badly that she will not speak up about what she's seen. That's what you're counting on. But guess what? I'm not that woman. I am not that woman. I do not care whether a random stranger man wants to have sex with me. No, I will not stay silent.
This woman believes she's unique. It's actually kind of sad that this chick believes that she's unique. It is. You know who's unique? A wife, right? A feminine woman. You sound like every other chick that a man runs into in our modern day. Top comment here says it doesn't get much prettier than Halle Berry, and she's been cheated on, beat on, and currently paying huge child support to her ex-husband. Yeah, he denied that happened, and good for her. We need more women to pay child support, since there is no difference between men and women, right? Pay that money fast, not slow. I hope we get more. She goes on to say, these men are out of control. Somebody else here added, I said to friends yesterday, especially one begging for attention, that since Sister Hong, I do not value men's compliments anymore. We do not need their validation, and this is why we are powerful. Here's somebody else that says, you are not ugly. Another person who added, you're not ugly. Another person who says, I make myself unattractive on purpose. This chick says, I do it on purpose. It's all on purpose. Don't care what a man thinks anymore. Somebody else here added, a man will call any woman he can't manipulate ugly or unattractive. When you bruise his ego, his only move is to try to make you doubt yourself. The awakened woman sees the tactic and stays unbothered. Well, guys, unfortunately for you, you won't be able to marry this woman and any of these women in here. It's a sad day for men who value marriage or relationships in our modern day.
Let's cook for my man. Let me show you how I got this ring. Today we're making jollof rice and chicken. Starting off by soaking my chicken in lemon and vinegar. While that soaks, I'm getting my aromatics ready. I cut one onion in quarters and the other one finely. Prepping some fresh garlic and ginger and one carrot. I also need 3 large tomatoes and scotch bonnet. Beside of the finely chopped onion, everything goes into a blender. This is the base for my stew, and don't skip the carrot. I then clean my chicken thoroughly and pat dry it. And don't worry, everything is cleaned here. I mix some chicken seasoning, adobo, black pepper, chili powder, thyme, ginger and garlic powder, and some oil to make the marinade for my chicken wings. I let this marinate for at least an hour in the fridge. For the jollof rice, I heat up some oil in the pan, fry my onions, and mix that with some tomato puree. Once that is fried, I give my tomato mix to it. I then add some spices and seasoning. And of course, I don't skip the bay leaves. I let that simmer, and then I start washing the rice until the water runs clear. I also use this free time to make a little salad. As a Ghanaian, I'm even skipping the egg today. Proud of myself. I always freeze leftover stock when boiling meat, and it comes in so handy. Once the oil settles, I add my rice, which is jasmine rice, by the way, the best rice ever. I add a little bit of stock, and here comes the ultimate hack, guys. I put it in the oven for 60 minutes. I then get my air fryer ready and put the chicken wings in there. If you know me, you already know I really don't like plantain, but the things you do for love. Last thing is really just mixing up my salad. And the jollof rice is already done. This oven method is foolproof, especially if you're using jasmine rice and having an induction hob. It doesn't take hours, it doesn't burn, and it stays fluffy. Not sure if I'm gonna go back to the traditional way. And here's the finished meal, guys. Do you see the happiness in his eyes? Chop time, no friends. Bye, guys.
So here I am making pancakes and bacon for my daughter, and my husband walks in once again. It seems like this is a regular, that he walks in during breakfast thinking that I'm gonna make him something. He's like, what are you making? I'm like, pancakes, bacon. Oh, can you make me some? Yeah, sure, I can. How about this, sir? Here's your bacon and pancakes. How about you make that shit yourself? I don't know in what world these men live in, thinking that their wives are supposed to be cooking for them. Absolutely not. I'm cooking for me and my daughter. You, sir, could cook for yourself. Oh, but you could put a couple more bacon strips in the air fryer for me. Okay, the same way that I could do it, sir, you could do it too. Grab the bacon, put it in the fryer. But he has to wait till this is done because he's not putting it with my food. Plus, the food that I buy is with my food stamps. It's not with yours. It's not with your money. It's with mine. So if you want food, why don't you go buy it yourself and then cook it? I'm not giving you food that I buy. That's ridiculous. And last I recall, you're not on my EBT case, so you are not getting this. Cooking for my hungry husband. Episode 27. My man said, what's for dinner tonight? I said, me? Hee hee. I'm just kidding. But I'm home. I don't have to run to the store. I got everything I need, so we're gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna make some creamy Tuscan salmon. Yes. Catch it. Creamy Tuscan salmon. Watch me cook for my man. Let me stop. Watch me cook. Y'all know the drill. I'ma clean and prep my salmon and start seasoning that thing up. And if you ain't sneezed, then it ain't seasoned. I don't care. AP, that's it. I don't want to have any bland areas. I'ma let that sit and I'ma start working on my rice. And y'all, I use coconut oil. For those that know, y'all know. It brings this rice to a whole different level of flavor, a whole different type of taste. Trust me. Trust me. Just try it. Anyways, I'm gonna grab some avocado oil and I'm gonna fry my salmon on both sides to get that crisp texture look. And we're only gonna fry it for a little bit. We're gonna have butter all over it and let it juicing up. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. And we're gonna put that thing in an aluminum foil, and then we're gonna put this thing in the oven. Gotta do my little happy dance. Hey. That crispy part is looking a little too good. I gotta do a taste test. Ooh, yeah. Masterpiece in the making. I'm gonna put these bad boys in the oven for 10 minutes on 350 degrees. I'm gonna wash my spinach clean and my beautiful garden salad tomato. I'm gonna cut up some onions and some garlic and mince them things, okay? I'm gonna throw it in the same grease from the salmon, and I'm gonna mix that thing all up. Y'all hear the sizzling? It smells so good. Then I'm gonna add some sun-dried tomatoes, okay? Let it cook, let it simmer. Ugh, it smells so good. It's getting me excited. Gotta do my little dance. Hey. Now I'm gonna throw in some heavy cream and some tomatoes, and I'm gonna mix that thing all up. Let it cook, let it boil. Ooh, it smells so good. I'm gonna add some Parmesan cheese to make it creamy and saucy. Let it sizzle, let it cook. I put some beautiful spinach on it. I start mixing that thing up. Let the spinach cook down. Then I threw some Italian seasoning, black pepper, Cajun seasoning, some parsley flakes. Let the flavor lock in. Let it do its thing. Time for a taste test. Yup. Time for the fun part. I'm going to put the salmon on this juicy, creamy sauce. Let it sit. Let it smother. Let it cook. Let it lock in. Let it do its thing. After 1 minute of sitting, it's now a juicy, saucy, creamy, spinachy, tomatoey, flavored Tuscan salmon with a side of coconut flavored rice. The way I like it, the way my man likes it. Oh my gosh. Look at this masterpiece. I know y'all mouth is watering right now. This was my first time making this, and it definitely won't be my last. Honey, dinner's ready. Here you go, babe. Enjoy.
That look good.
I told him dessert will be for later.
Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link into the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.